Well, here I am back working on the Camaro. It's now time for the 1,000-mile oil change, and it's been performing well. Take a look under hood here. So we're sitting here, we've run 1,000 miles. The garage is kind of cold this morning. So my level's just a little below full cold. And if we dip the oil, we'll double check that coolant when it gets hot. It's been running full when it's hot. Get that camera to focus in. She's right spot on the full mark. But basically in the last oil change was somewhere around 250 or 300 miles. So we're about 700 miles and we haven't used any oil. See with the engine on, the engine has just come up to the thermostat now, and she's right up to the full hot line, about where I started 1,000 miles ago. Pretty good. It's idling good. Quiet. Well, now that it's warmed up, we'll get her on the ramp and do the oil change. So I put in my new Wix filter with about almost a half quart of oil in it. I always fill them before I put them on. So I'll put the rest of 5 quarts of 10W30 VR1 in this dude. And we'll take a look at what we drained out. And I've always been partial to using original equipment. AC Delco filters on these engines. I generally figure the factory engineers know what they want and the Delco parts are good. But over the years, for the aftermarket stuff, they've made the filters smaller. And this engine was originally supposed to have it was a PF25 or maybe even a PF35. I think the final was a PF25. Anyway. Now they changed the number, they've discontinued that filter, and it's a smaller filter. This Wix number, 51069, is the Wix equivalent of the original factory AC Delco filter. I've started to use them, and so far no trouble with them. The specs all look good, and I like having the larger filter, a little bit more filtration area. 5 quarts. And we'll go take a look here at the oil pan. So here's my drain pan. Now, it's always hard to see and get the right light on it, but it looks pretty good. Where I had metallics floating in the pan after the first oil change and the second oil change. Oil's pretty hot. It's not too bad. You can see it on my fingers. It looks pretty doggone clean. I don't really see any issues. Looks like we've made it through break-in. I mean, there could be other things in the oil, but at the last oil change, as I said, you could see a haze floating on the surface of some of the metallics that were still coming out. So it looks like by 200 or 300 miles, we got most of it flushed out. So now I can go more back to my normal change intervals. And with this car, it's not going to run a ton of miles. So it'll probably be every 3,000 miles or so, or annually. But it's all looking pretty good right now. I'd say a successful break-in. Now I can probably go lean on it a little harder and have some fun with it.